As expected, the big focus this hour is Prajwal Revanna, the JDS and the NDA. Now, the Prajwal Revanna alleged obscene video saga is escalating every passing day. Prajwal's father, H.D. Revanna, has now defended his son, calling the entire saga a conspiracy and claiming that a 4 to 5-year-old video is now being released by political opponents. Revanna has also said that the decision to sack his son from the party ultimately lies with the High Command, and unlike what's being claimed, his son is on a planned foreign trip and is not absconded. Listen into this bizarre defense coming in from H.D. Revanna.
ಕಾನೂನು ರೀತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಎದುರಿಸಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಏನಿದೆ ಕಾನೂನು ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಯಾವುದೋ 4 ವರ್ಷ 5 ವರ್ಷದ್ದು ತಗೊಂಬಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐತೆ, ನಾನು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಅದು ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು SITಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರ ತನಿಖೆಗೆ ಮುಜುಗರ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ನಾನು ಏನು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಇದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ.
Well, this defense coming in from H.D. Revanna, who himself is being accused in this particular case. In fact, Prajwal Revanna, as per the complaint that has been filed, is the A2. The accused number 1 is H.D. Revanna himself. Meanwhile, as the video spreads on social media like wildfire, cracks have already started to develop within the JDS. MLA Sharan Gowda Kandakur has now urged Party Supremo H.D. Devegowda to suspend H.D. Revanna and his son, citing embarrassment to the party and also the damage to its reputation. Meanwhile, JDS's Kolar MLA has also now issued an ultimatum demanding the suspension of Prajwal Revanna and his father H.D. Revanna. In fact, this particular leader has said that JDS will now have to choose between the father-son duo and the future of the party's 19 MLAs. On the other hand, while all of these things happen, JDS leaders are themselves coming out and giving ultimatums to the party over this absolutely shameful incident. Former Karnataka CM H.D. Kumaraswamy has also now come out and given a statement. In fact, H.D. Kumaraswamy is Prajwal Revanna's own uncle. He's now come out and distanced himself from the controversy. H.D. Kumaraswamy has now said that it is Revanna's issue and that his family lives separately. Therefore, the entire family, including Devegowda, should not be dragged into the matter.
ಅದು 3 ದಿವಸಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಏನೋ ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟವ್ರು ಯಾರು? 3 ದಿವಸಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು? ಯಾವುದೋ ಹಳೆಯ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಈಗ ಏನಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಎತ್ತಲಿಲ್ಲ? ಚುನಾವಣೆ 2 ದಿನ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮತದಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇನೋ 25,000 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಏನೋ ಹಂಚಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. SIT ರಚನೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. SIT ರಚನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪುಗಳಿದೆ, ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಅನುಭವಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ. ಈ ಕಾನೂನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಲೆ ಬಾಗಲೇಬೇಕು. ನಾನೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ನಾಯಕರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು, ಕುಟುಂಬ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಯಾತಿಗೆ ತರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅಲ್ಲ.
In fact, Kumaraswamy did not just defend himself, his family, and tried to distance himself over the matter. He also had an appeal for the women of the state. Listen in.
ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನನ್ನ ತಾಯಂದಿರಿಗೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಹೋದರಿಯರಿಗೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಆಗಲಿ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆಯವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಗಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಸಹ ಸಂಶಯ ಪಡಬೇಡಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದ್ದರೆ, ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ನಾಡಿನ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾವೇ ಧ್ವನಿ ಎತ್ತುತ್ತೇವೆ.
Now, this is, of course, the reaction, the official reaction coming in from the JDS. Not a lot, but again, it shows that the party is now in control mode and, of course, is figuring out what to do next. And from what we've been told, the JDS has now called for a core committee meeting tomorrow and is likely to suspend Prajwal Revanna. Well, this is, of course, a source-based information. Whether that happens or not, that remains to be seen. Meanwhile, the Congress, the political opponent of the JDS and the BJP, has now upped the ante. Now, they've started staging a protest also over this matter. And not just that, the Congress is also dragging JDS's NDA partner BJP into this entire controversy. Listen to all the reactions that have been coming in from the Congress.
ನನ್ನ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗೇನಿದ್ರು ಈಗ ತನಿಖಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು. ನಂದು ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ? ಅಶೋಕನ್ ನುಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರ ನುಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನುಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೋ, ಅವ್ರ ಕುಟುಂಬದ್ದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿದವ್ರು ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ NDA? What is the position of the BJP on this issue? That is very much important.
Hassan MP was known for such antecedents in spite of letters being received by them from BJP functionaries, from BJP office that there are thousands of victims who have been abused by the Hassan MP. Still they went in and gave the ticket. They were so quick to capitalize on the Hubli murder case. Why are they so silent now? Why aren't they protesting in every town? Why aren't they protesting in every village like they did during the Hubli murder? In spite of knowing the fact that Prajwal Revana was into these things, they went and gave him the ticket. They campaigned for him. They ensured that he's fled the country also. So I am directly blaming the BJP on this front.
पहले ही अमित शाह जी को और पहले ही कर्नाटक के जो बीजेपी के अध्यक्ष है विजेंद्र को पता था ऐसा सीडी है, ऐसा फिल्म है, ऐसा वीडियोस है करके, क्योंकि उनके खुद के जो देवराज गौड़ा करके जो हासन का बीजेपी लीडर, खुद इन्होंने विजेंद्र को लेटर भी लिखा था और खुद जाके मिलके बात भी किए थे. और उससे ज़्यादा जब अमित शाह जी का मैसूर में टूर था तब प्रीतम गौड़ा के बीजेपी का जो एक्स MLA है RT रामास्वामी, दोनों जाके अमित शाह जी को ये समझाए थे ऐसा ऐसा है, आप अलायंस मत करो, उससे हमको नुकसान होगी, फायदा नहीं होगी. ये सब जानकारी उनको होने के बावजूद अमित शाह जी ने और नड्डा जी और हमारी प्रधानमंत्री कैसे अलायंस पार्टनर किए.
Well, this is the Congress now very clearly dragging the BJP into the matter, and where we are of course seeing a very clear attempt there to make this issue national, so that at least in other states as well this particular issue comes up and the BJP is cornered. Well, the BJP has been trying to dodge this particular issue, especially with the Prime Minister in town.
ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ SIT ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಹೊರ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
So lots happening there in the state of Karnataka. We are of course keeping a very close eye on all the developments that come in connection to this case. My colleague Imran has been tracking this story ever since that broke out. Imran, help us understand what's the latest that we are tracking right now. Of course, the entire political narrative in Karnataka has shifted from various other issues to now everyone's talking Revana files. Help us understand what's the latest that we are tracking, and also what does the future look like for Prajwal Revana, the JDS, and also the overall NDA alliance?
Well, that's a very pertinent question that we asked, because the scam has broke out where, the actors are calling it a pen drive scam, where thousands of videos of Prajwal Revana's sexual acts have come out. Many allege that it is also, it amounts to serious criminal offences, and one FIR has already been registered with Holi Narsipur police station in Hassan, where victim has accused both Prajwal Revana and his father HD Revana of sexual assault, and based on which various sections both have been booked. The Congress has also formed an SIT into this case, and the SIT is investigating the matter, and they said how they've trained the guns on the BJP, asking whether they're still going to support their NDA candidate and ally, and they said these are the kind of candidates which the BJP would like to align itself. They've also specifically targeted PM and Home Minister Amit Shah, Smriti Irani, to break the silence over the issue and give it to the people what they think about Prajwal Revana's act and the videos, and whether they will go stand with the Nari Shakti, the slogan, and protect the women in this videos who have been seen. Now, many people on the social media and especially civil society activists have asked the government to immediately issue a red cordon notice and hand over the case to independent judicial inquiry so that they can have trust in it. Now, they also took out a various huge march today to the DC office in Hassan, demanding that the matter should be given to independent judicial inquiry. They say that even though they have trust with the SIT, but they say that there could be a bone harmony between different political parties, and as an experience to earlier what they have seen, they do not trust that SIT will be allowed to do a fair job. Now, apart from that, the Congress also protested in Hassan, also in Hubli. They also protested in Bangalore.
Right.
In fact, one delegation even went and gave a memorandum Human Rights Commission to immediately take action against Prajwal Revana. The question is now, where is Prajwal Revana and how this investigation will proceed further and whether he'll be arrested? That is the important question now.
Absolutely, Imran. Like you rightly pointed out, the important questions now, where is Prajwal Revana and what will be the action taken against him? And also, how is this going to turn out politically? To discuss that and a lot more, we've got guests on the panel today. Anurag Naidu is an author, Lavanya Ballal from the Congress, and B.S. Arun, who's a senior journalist. I appreciate you for joining us on the broadcast and welcome to all of you. Let me start with Mr. B.S. Arun. Mr. B.S. Arun, what's happening in Karnataka? Sex tapes, porn inside assembly, pen drives, sexual assault charges. What's this weird connection between Karnataka netas and such scandals during election season?
Well, really shocking. Nobody expected that this would happen. Although there are reports now coming out now that a BJP leader who contested against H.D. Revana in Hole Nasipur, he had told Vijayendra, the state BJP chief, not to field this Prajwal Revana from Hassan for the Lok Sabha. But despite that, we don't know the reasons. Despite that, party gave him the ticket, and we know the result now. Though we had to wait for till June 4th for the actual result of the Lok Sabha elections. The thing is now, politically, it's a huge hot potato for both Janata Dal and its alliance partner, BJP. BJP has almost remained silent, except for a statement that you showed by Vijayendra. Otherwise, the party is completely silent. The Prime Minister is in the state for the last 2 days, yesterday and today, and he has been talking, as usual about Mangal Sutra and other things. But he has not. Nobody has raked this up. So perhaps the state BJP leaders are waiting for a signal from the Delhi leaders for a comment on this particular episode, which has shocked across the state, sent shockwaves across the state. And nobody had expected this. So now it's up to, there are two things now to happen. How Congress will take this forward and how BJP will react to this, both by BJP and Congress now wants to drag in BJP more than Janata Dal because of a previous incident of a costly murder of a college-going girl by a Muslim classmate. And that BJP made it a huge issue. Took marches across the state and held Congress responsible.
Mr. B.S. Arun will of course come to that. That was one of the points that I was going to touch along during the course of the debate. Let me go across to Lavanya Ballal from the Congress. Lavanya Ballal, how do you look at this entire issue panning out? Prime Minister Modi, like Mr. B.S. Arun also pointed out, Prime Minister Modi, very coincidentally, right now in Karnataka, he has been speaking on everything. He has spoken about the Neha Hiremat murder as well. But why do you think is the Prime Minister silent on this? Because this is, of course, one of his important allies. Now, Deve Gowda, Prajwal Revana himself was in the national capital there talking to the Prime Minister. Why do you think the Prime Minister is silent over this issue?
Well, I don't think it benefits the BJP party to have the Prime Minister talking about Prajwal Revana's sex scandal during the campaign. That's one of the reasons why the Prime Minister is not talking about it. What is appalling for me in the entire process is, if you notice, Prajwal's parents or his uncle and his aunt, the entire family is filled with either elected representatives or people who have contested at one point of time or the other. Right? None of them till date have expressed any kind of concern about the women victims, and these people are actively seeking votes. Even at this point of time, Kumaraswamy is seeking votes. The irony is their party emblem is a woman carrying hay, right? At this point of time, I don't know how safe their party symbol feels, but let's not joke about that. But, the point is, the domestic help in their house also was not safe. If women in your own household are not safe, how safe is the JDS going to keep the women of this state? And, the problem is his father says, oh, this video is 4 or 5 years old. That does not take away from the gravity of the situation or the horrific crime, does it? Look at the reaction of the parents, look at the reaction of his uncle, or no reaction of his aunt and his cousin brother. And meanwhile, BJP was very well aware of these videos in December through their own MLA candidate, but they chose to go ahead and field Prajwal Revanna from Hassan. I mean, what does this say about a party which talks about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao? Why would you give a ticket to a man who is already taken injunction in the High Court of Karnataka against CDs in the year 2023? They chose to do that, right? They can't wash their hands off now. The BJP is answerable to this. What were they thinking while fielding this candidate?
Absolutely. Right. Let me take that point across to Anurag Naidu, who's also joining us, author as well. Mr. Anurag Naidu, there, of course, we are looking at the Congress's reactions that have been coming in throughout the day. And one very clear attempt that we've seen from the Congress is that they have been linking this particular issue not just to the JDS, but also to the NDA. So there's a clear attempt here by the Congress, and I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong, but there's a clear attempt here by the Congress to hold the BJP accountable as well, and rightfully so, because as an alliance partner, is it right for the BJP to not come out and openly condemn such a thing? Because regardless of who's done it, the fact that there's a video out there about it, and everyone's expressing their disappointment, the BJP clearly ought to have given a strong reply than just saying that there's an SIT probe. We'll talk about this later.
Well, I think, first of all, let me condemn this. You need to understand that this allegations on Prajwal Revanna are very serious, and it only does, not only brings disrepute to the JDS as a party, but it also brings disrepute to Mr. Devegowda, who's been a tall leader, of his, the state, and has been a former prime minister. But more than that, sexual allegations are not, new to the politics. When Congress is pointing fingers, they should also understand. Now, one of the Congress spokesperson said that what made you give a ticket to him, knowing all the allegations, that Mr. Vijayendra was knowing all the allegations, or some other party? Because first of all, let's understand, alliance does not work like that, and Congress also have to answer what made them give ticket to Abhishek Manu Singhvi for the Rajya Sabha elections very recently held. And let me not go back into the famous Abhishek Manu Singhvi incident and Wari incident for the Congress. So then the Congress was crying, okay.
No. Let's not talk about it, Mr. Anurag Naidu. Let's not diverge. Let's not go into the past. Let's talk about Prajwal Revanna and the fact that the BJP now on record there is a letter written to the BJP chief asking not to give a ticket to Prajwal Revanna. Despite that, how does the BJP ignore such a massive red flag and give a ticket?
Look, I think people who understand politics will understand how the alliance and the seat distribution work. BJP do not control the distribution of JDS. The seats were given to the JDS in the quota. Neither does BJP control seat distribution in Andhra, nor does BJP control seat distribution for this alliance in Maharashtra. So it is left to the parties to decide. And if the candidate of their party is not good enough, or is has some kind of an allegation, serious allegation like this, they're going to lose. So ultimately, the numbers of NDA is going to come down, and the numbers of JDS are going to come down. So you need to understand that BJP does not interfere in any person or any matter for political party for that matter. Nor does Congress, is responsible for their alliance partners in other states where they're in alliance with. So you cannot control the candidates of, the other parties that are in alliance with you. And you have to understand, when you're pointing fingers at BJP, will they really want to serve any purpose for you? I really don't think that is a right argument to make. And if the letters have been written to,
but isn't Vijayendra, it the opposition's job to point fingers if there's something wrong?
Vijayendra, I'm asking you, who is Mr. Vijayendra in deciding a ticket to Revanna? Can you answer that as a journalist? You cannot. Because Vijayendra is not the one who decides ticket for Revanna.
Mr. Vijayendra is the state party president of the BJP.
But
Mr. Vijayendra is the person that the letter was written to not give a ticket. Mr. Vijayendra, is the one who formed the alliance with the JDS. So Mr. Vijayendra should have the power. Mr. Vijayendra should have the power to decide that if we are going with an ally, that ally does not field someone who has such serious charges.
Mr. Prajwal Revanna or Mr. Revanna are members of the BJP, so that Mr. Vijayendra decides their fate. Mr. Vijayendra is the state president of the BJP.
But they are members of a party that is allies with BJP, Mr. Anurag Naidu. That's the whole point. As an ally, isn't BJP's responsibility when on one hand the Prime Minister keeps talking about Nari Shakti, the Prime Minister talks about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, isn't it the BJP's responsibility also, this is what the opposition is saying, isn't it the BJP's responsibility also to ensure that their allies give tickets to those that don't have such serious allegations?
No party will allow verification of their own candidates by other party, whether they're in alliance or not. Will BJP allow verification by JDS of their own candidates? Do you think so? Will Congress allow work like that? If you're trying to sell that argument, people will only laugh. that. So as a journalist also, you should understand, Vijayendra, look, these people do not belong to this party. Why are you drawing Vijayendra into this? Why are you drawing Amit Shah or Prime Minister Modi into this? If it
All
is
right.
for the...
I'll ask Lavanya Ballal to respond to that. Lavanya Ballal, please respond to this. I'm not sure how to respond to this, how to counter. If you can, you please counter this particular argument coming in from Anurag Naidu there.
Ashish?
Yes, Lavanya Ballal, I want you to respond to this particular argument coming in from the BJP, from Anurag Naidu. Right, there seems to be some issue with the network. Mr. B.S. Arun, how do you look at this particular argument that's coming in from Anurag Naidu that BJP is not responsible for the kind of candidates that the JDS is fielding? BJP might be in alliance with the JDS. BJP might be getting the seat that the JDS is getting. BJP might have JDS leaders like Prajwal Revanna standing right next to the Prime Minister. But when Prajwal Revanna is accused of something so serious, the BJP, of course, is not responsible for it. How does it work?
No, see, alliance means alliance in every. Both the parties would have talked to each other about fielding certain candidates. So that way, Bangalore rural, it was Dr. Manjunath, who is the son-in-law of Devegowda. Do you think without telling Devegowda, BJP would have brought him to the party and fielded him? Obviously, that's not the case. In Hassan, what happened? Ever since the BJP announced its candidate, the JDS announced its candidate in Hassan, BJP local workers had been on a warpath. The BJP leader there, he in fact told the party leadership not to field him, and he criticized the party leadership for fielding JDS candidate there. And he was told, you better don't campaign here, you go to some other constituency. So he was backed off to another constituency. He was the General Secretary of the state party. So that was the case that, there was opposition from within BJP to the candidature of Prajwal Revanna. Now you can imagine the kind of alliance that these two parties had as far as Hassan is concerned, although their alliance worked well perhaps in other seats.
Absolutely. Lavanya Ballal, can you hear me right now? Is your audio fixed now? If your audio is fixed, this is the right time. I think you need to respond to the BJP, of course, because the argument there was that the BJP is not responsible for the kind of candidates that the JDS is fielding.
Yes, BJP is not responsible for the candidates that JDS is fielding, but BJP is responsible for the alliance they seek and they form. The BJP was made aware of this particular problem or this particular criminal activities of Prajwal Revanna in the month of December by their own party worker, for their MLA candidate, and the BJP chose to go ahead and form an alliance. It not only chose to do that, it also chose to send the Prime Minister for campaigning for Prajwal Revanna in Karnataka. Modi ji has campaigned extensively for Prajwal Revanna. They chose to do that, right? It is their choice. Even at this point of time, look at the BJP. It is not expressing any concern for the women. The party women of JDS and everybody who has come in contact with the family are under severe distress. Their life is at stake. I've heard, the last I've heard, there were about 5 women who have attempted suicide. There are a couple of women who have been asked to leave their marital homes. Their lives are under distress.
Right.
And neither BJP nor JDS is expressing any concern, and that is very disrespectful.
Lavanya Ballal, your frame seems to be frozen. There seems to be some sort of network issue. We'll try connecting to you again. Anurag Naidu, I want you to come in there. Of course, this is the Congress now claiming that while the BJP wants the votes and the numbers from the allies, they are not taking responsibility for actions as well, which is, of course, I think is a very pertinent question, that while Prime Minister Modi is ready to have Prajwal Revanna on the stage there, sharing the dialogue with him, he's not responsible for the actions of Prajwal Revanna. How does that work?
Well, I think I will have to accept with one point that Lavanya make, right? BJP is responsible of making the alliances with the partner that they choose. In this case, JDS. Yes, BJP to that extent is responsible, and the JDS High Command, which is the JDS is governed by Mr. Kumaraswamy and Mr. Devegowda. Mr. Kumaraswamy has a press conference, and tomorrow I think they're going to have their party meeting, and then they are going to take action on this particular thing. And he has also distanced himself from Mr. Revanna and his family, right? So it is the party's internal matter. Now, coming to Mr. Prime Minister, Prime Minister does not do the character evaluation of people that he's going to meet. They do the profiling of the people. Mr. Prajwal Revanna has been a member of parliament, member of parliament, right? So he's a colleague for Mr. Prime Minister. Prime Minister does not do any character evaluation, and if he starts doing, then the same people will come and comment, okay, there's a breach of privacy. There's no privacy. They're checking our mobile phones, and also, look, after having this kind of a serious allegation, the BJP supports a strict and firm. That's what their party at least says, that there should be a very thorough investigation, and I think he should be behind bars, and there should be very tough investigation and prosecution in this matter. There's no denying.
But Mr. Anurag Naidu, not a single statement about it. Not a single statement yet about it.
They've already made
a single statement coming in from the BJP about this.
That you can ask the BJP, but so far as I'm concerned, I've read a statement that the SIT is going to be formed, and the party supports that. I mean, it's for the BJP to answer, but I mean, as an analyst, I can only say that let's not drop. It's very convenient. You don't find any other issue. Try to link it to the Prime Minister. I think that is a very unfortunate state, and not everything happens in this country. Prime Minister is responsible, so you need to also give space. Pick up the right issues if you want to attack Prime Minister. I think that will give you benefit, is what I would say.
Okay, right. Lavanya Balan, if you can counter that, because this is, of course, Anurag Naidu there stating that if you really want to attack the Prime Minister, it's better you pick up the right issues. The Prime Minister, he might be an ally with someone, he might be sharing the stage with someone, he might be campaigning for someone, but Prime Minister is not responsible for his character. How do you respond to that? And also, do you think this is, of course, the opposition now desperately trying to attack the Prime Minister without finding an issue, as Anurag Naidu says?
Anurag Naidu, I would like to ask you, do you find the issue of hundreds and hundreds of women assaulted by Prajwal Revanna, and right now accused number one is Mr. Revanna, his father, do you think it is a trivial matter? How irresponsible can you be, sir, with your statement? This is a matter of life of multiple women, hundreds of women who have been assaulted by Prajwal Revanna, and we will seek answers from the Prime Minister because he has refused to comment about this issue. Why is he not commenting about it? The entire nation is appalled by the actions of this young man or this young representative from JDS. And why is the Prime Minister not talking about it? We appreciate that Prime Minister has a concern for Neha. We do not appreciate the fact that the Prime Minister does not have the concern for Rukhsana. Prime Minister does not have concern for hundreds of women victims of this particular man from JDS, who is the alliance partner of the Prime Minister's party.
So are you saying the Prime Minister only does politics of convenience?
It looks like that. It is politics of convenience. Ashish, isn't it appalling that nobody is expressing concern for these women? Ashish?
But their defense is that there's a probe that's underway. Once the probe concludes, we'll have a clarity on that. And again, Lavanya Balan, you were talking about how this issue has been for a while now. You mentioned how Revanna said that for the past 5-6 years this has been around, and you questioned as to why the BJP did not take any action. One counter question to you is, in the past 5-6 years, even the Congress has been in alliance with the JDS. If that is the case, then why did the Congress not take any action against Prajwal Revanna?
So,
right, there seems to be some sort of a network issue again there with Lavanya Balan. Let me take this across for a comment from Mr. B.S. Arun. Mr. B.S. Arun, give us an overview of how this is going to play out in Karnataka, because the BJP, led by the Prime Minister, has been banking on issues like Beti Bachao. He's been talking about issues like Nari Shakti, and these are the issues that seem to be reverberating with the people as well. But when something like this comes up, how do you think this is going to affect the BJP? Because the BJP might say that we're just an ally, we don't hold the character certificate for anyone. At the end of the day, for voters, this is of course going to be translating, this is going to be affecting the BJP as well.
Ashish, the next round of elections in Karnataka will be on May 7th. That will be, the coming week. The thing is, JDS is a powerful party as far as South Karnataka is concerned. But South Karnataka has seen the elections.
Right.
The elections were over in South Karnataka, except in the Shimoga constituency on April 26th. So the constituencies, 14 constituencies that are going to vote on May 7th will be the North Karnataka constituencies, except again Shimoga. So in Shimoga, North Karnataka, JDS is not a factor except in very small pockets. So to that extent, BJP would feel relieved that JDS is not a big factor. But still, although BJP has not commented.
No, but if JDS is not a factor, women's safety is still a factor. Mr. PS Arun,
Yes,
JDS might not be a
that's what
factor
I'm
there,
saying.
but women's safety is still a factor that...
BJP would be hoping that this won't be a big issue in the next round of elections in Karnataka. But Congress, I'm sure, will not stop at this. It will continue to make a big issue in the forthcoming round of elections in Karnataka.
Absolutely, Mr. PS Arun, like you rightly mentioned that this is, of course, going to be something that the Congress will try to escalate. Whether that's politically right or wrong, that's not for us to comment. But again, this is something that the BJP will feel the heat over, and now the Congress is doing all that it can to ensure that this has an effect nationally as well. And this is, of course, while the Prime Minister is still in Karnataka. Really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast with all your points there. And this, again, is a major issue that we'll be talking about. Tomorrow is a big day for the JDS and for Prajwal Revanna, where the core committee meeting will be held. The JDS will be taking a final call in the future of Prajwal Revanna. Will H.D. Deve Gowda, the JDS chief, the founder of JDS, will his grandson be thrown out of the party? That's a big question, and that we believe will be answered tomorrow. We'll come back to you with that and a lot more, but time for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.